Alright, what's up y'all, it's Fan here. As y'all can see by the title of today's video, we're here to talk about how IQ rules comp Pro-Am in NBA 2K21 Next Gen. So, I hope y'all enjoy the video. If you do, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on them noties, all the good stuff. Let's try this one to 800 likes. Now, I gotta say, y'all been showing a lot of love on the Pro-Am videos. I know the last two have been over a month ago, and I've been really inconsistent with the Pro-Am stuff and just YouTube in general. But we're getting back to some consistency here. We're in the WR Pro-Am League, in my opinion, the most competitive Pro-Am League that there is, and also has the best money turnouts as well for the tournaments. We'll go over our team's record and all that at the end of the game. I don't want to give any spoilers to this game right here. Now, one thing I want to touch on real quick before we get too far into the video, I'm only going to take like a minute to describe this. This whole record thing that you see in the intros right here, pay no mind to it in any Pro-Am video that you see, whether it's mine or somebody else's. Essentially, ranked Pro-Am just does not work in this game, and when it does, it actually counts every single game you play as a loss. Our team is like 0-20 on 3v3 Pro-Am. So anyway, like I was telling y'all, just pay no mind to the intros as far as the actual record that you see. Anything to do with this WR League is going to be comp games no matter what. Now, for the team intros, you guys are going to see a familiar face on the far right there. We got my boy Kitchen running the point and guarding ball in this game. We got Giuseppe as our secondary ball handler. And then we got Tonic and Panda as our locks, so to say. Panda's more of like a fifth that we just kind of picked up. He's just going to be in the corner on both ends and not really do too much as far as the game goes, so just keep that in mind. And then obviously for me, I'm at the big man spot. Now, for those who didn't see the video that I posted about a week ago, I just gotta say, I'm on a new build, 6'10". This thing is insane. 83 speed at 6'10". It's the metric build, quote unquote. It's 6'9.5". As for our opponent's lineups, you're going to see the guy at the 2, aka the mid-right, Carney. He's their point guard, and then the guy right in the middle, the big H2H, he's their big man, 6'10" as well, so essentially runs the exact same build as me. Almost everybody in this Pro-Am stuff runs the 6'10 metrics, or just regular 6'10 builds in general. And then on the far right is District 12, that's their on-ball lockdown defender. He's going to be guarding ball for the most part, like I just said. Shout out to him for the Hunger Games reference in his gamer tag as well. Now, the last thing I want to mention before we get into the gameplay is I want you guys to take a look at all the reps. You can see Pro 3, All-Star 2, All-Star 1, Pro 5, All-Star 2. A lot of these Pro-Am heads, I'm just going to go ahead and give you guys a quick rundown, and we'll let the gameplay footage start rolling. But a lot of these Pro-Am heads, they're going to be quitting out of every single game that you see, and I want you guys to keep that in mind for when you watch all the way to the end of these videos as well, is that I myself am going to be quitting out of the games as well. So, reasons for that being, so that everybody who ever watches any Pro-Am content, whether it be mine or anybody else's as well, who doesn't have to ask this question anymore, the reason everybody quits out at the end of the games is, if you're a 99 overall, you don't lose any progress on your actual overall, so that's one thing. You really get pretty minimal badge progress if we're being completely real, whether it be the League Night Pro-Am, which like I said is literally once a week on top of that, or whether it be the unranked matchmaking where you're just going into the matchmaking where the game is going to find you a match, but again, that gives close to no rep, no badge progress, no actual, overall progress or anything like that. Or what we're doing right here at the WR Pro-Am League, where it's private matchmaking. We type in a code and we both put in the code, my team and their team, and then we just match up against each other. And then the league itself is going to actually, record these games and give some detail as to what our record is, the stats that we average, etc., all that stuff. So just keep that in mind. I'm bringing these videos to you guys, keeping in mind that every team that I'm going to put in these videos is going to be comp games. It's going to be people that actually know what they're doing, and it's going to be tough matchups that are going to be hard to beat. As you can see, these guys are coming out the gates, firing like crazy. And one thing I do want to mention to you guys as well, for all the homies of, the channel all the way back to 2K20, me and Kitchen got this IQ and chemistry together, right? And I'm not going to run too many of these back because I know a lot of people are complaining about how long these Pro-Am videos are. So it is what it is. Also, at the same time, though, a lot of people are loving how long they are. So feel free to leave in the comments if you enjoy the breakdowns that you see in these videos right here, or you just like the long videos that you get to see the full game. No cuts, no nothing like that. Let me know what you enjoy from a viewer's perspective with the Pro-Am stuff. But anyway, me and Kitchen, we got this unspoken telepathy when it comes to this pick and roll stuff, man, where I see the guard is out of the play. If he starts moving left, I'm on his left and he moves towards me. The big man's stepping up, boom, I'm slipping. He already knows this. Lob, money, every single time. When it comes to the chemistry on the offensive and defensive end, I gotta show love to my boy Kitchen. We've been playing together for years now, and it's just unspoken stuff. And he's a very smart guard himself, and a smart lockdown as well. So you're going to see, hits a little curry slide right into Kitchen, gets a bump steal. Another thing to mention about Kitchen's build too, he has 25 steal rating, so he's never going to get a single pluck animation. It's all bump steals where people just dribble straight into him. And another thing to mention too, Kitchen is at the X button, so he's at the small forward position. It makes it really, really unfortunate for our inbounds and stuff like that. Panda are, sort of backcourt lockdown defenders, so to say, even though he just guards corner or wing most of the time. As you can see, he's in the corner on defense right here. He's at the point guard spot, which completely screws us up really bad. You're going to see a couple times in this game where the icons are just completely destroyed. So Another thing to mention too, this isn't exactly our main lineup, as you can probably tell by how I've been talking about it. So to put you as the viewer in our shoes, I'm gonna go ahead and run down what the icons usually are. So at the A button spot, we usually have an on-ball lockdown by the name of Nick. He's our sort of secondary ball handler, on-ball lockdown, and he's at the A button spot normally. We have Kitchen, who's normally at the B, and then we have Tonic, who's usually at the small forward spot, aka the X button. Then we have me, who's usually at the power forward spot. Then we have Nut, who's usually at the big man spot. So long story short is, every single person on this court is not the same icon that they usually are, or the role that they're in isn't the same icon that they usually are. So a lot of confusion is made and a lot of bad passes are made when it comes to the icons because of those things. You can see Kitchen hits a beautiful walk back right there, gets the green 9-7 just like that. But again, just keep in mind, everybody, passes will be it'll be some bad passes in this game, long story short. You can see right here, great hedge defense right there. We get the full switch. Now me and Kitchen are, working together on this as well. He steps up, gets the jump, 26% contest, doesn't green it. Now every time I want to mention as well, Tonic gets a rebound, it will come to me because Tonic has 25 pass accuracy, really, really bad playmaking on his build, but that's how I made it by design. Me and him worked together. I created the build for him that I thought would be working well together with what we have on our team. So essentially he has 30 badges on defense, full out defensive build with a maxed out interior D, perimeter D, steal, block, O-board, D-board, all that stuff. And he's our defensive kind of chess piece that we can move around to wherever we want him, whether it's an on-ball defender or he's coming out the corner for the drops. He's 6'8", so just keep all that in mind. Now, we get a nice bump steal from Kitchen there again. GV out on the break right there, gets the dunk, 14-7. We're coming out firing, playing great. Like I said in the video title, IQ rules 2K20 Next Gen Pro-Am. So you're gonna see they're pretty well defended right here, and they end up accidentally checking it to the corner, but they make something beautiful out of this play. I'm gonna show you guys in a little bit of slow-mo breakdown right here, but they pass it to the top of the key, and as soon as he hits it, he starts to drive. Now Kitchen gets lost behind him, and he's probably thinking to chase down as hard as he can, but what really ends up happening is the big man's popping out as soon as the guard goes in. Some reverse piston action looking like this, where I'm going to stay down because that's where my big man was just at, and then the point guard's moving straight toward me. And it's obvious that I'm going to be the one with interior defense and the block and the height and all that, and I'm trying to stay on the interior. So what they catch us lacking with is Kitchen still trying to chase down the point guard as he drives, and the big man pops out in the perfect fashion, just like that. Beautiful freelance play. Props to them too, because stuff like that, there's something to be said about the easy freelance buckets that really they look easy, but it's very hard to do on the fly because a lot of these point guards, a lot of the things that they do have to be really uniform. They have to be set in stone and not on the fly and not random, and all has to be kind of, like I said, uniform and very according to the script. Now, you're gonna see we're coming out on the defensive end again. Point guard drives, Kitchen tries to chase down on him again. Kitchen with low interior defense and just, not exactly the most sturdy build when it comes to defending on the interior, whether it be for the height, block, vertical, whatever it may be, interior defense. It's not the best situation. So, not many on-ball lockdowns do have that. I just want you guys to keep that in mind. It's really a tough scene when it comes to defending in this game, and you're going to see a lot of times where this exact thing happens. Now, these guys, they defend it really, really well. So to explain how this all sets up and what exactly we're trying to do to counter it, Kitchen's gonna be working the pick and roll. He ends up going to the left off of this. Now, I wish I could have just rolled off it, but I get stuck on the screen from holding B right here, and then it's gonna force the big man to step up. Now, that holding screen right there action, it forced this big man to full switch right here. And typically, when we get this full switch, Kitchen's gonna back it up, and I'm gonna drop in. But unfortunately, this just worked out really well for them, where they're going to switch this guard up and the big man back down. And Kitchen probably had a shot right here. Again, these are all things that I bring to you guys in video form that even us as the players ourselves are going to be able to learn from, as far as, if Kitchen watches this video, boom, we see that that's the action right there where he needs to shoot the ball next time, and it's an easy fix. This guy's going to try and drive on me. He ends up getting an accidental jump shot, so he passes out of it on a bailout. Tonic again right here has 25 speed with ball, 25 ball handle, 25 pass accuracy. So he unfortunately is not going to be very good on the fast breaks. But again, the way that we've tried to remedy that, so to say, is he's rarely out on the fast breaks. He's on the corner on defense. He's typically going to drop down to the interior whenever we have those situations. Kitchen gets kind of lost on the defense right there. Again, Tonic rebounds. It's always going to go to me every single time he gets it. And this is sort of our secondary fast break whenever he gets it, because if he does get it, it's very tough for him to just throw the outlet pass with the low pass accuracy. So I'm usually just the check down guy. I'm going to be able to read it, and we are going to be able to fill in two corners on the offense on the fast break, and then I'm going to be able to run in, and if we have two guys back on the break in the corners, and then I can just fill in for the dunks, it actually works pretty well. So what I've noticed from the other Pro-Am videos as well, I've done a pretty bad job at showing the end of quarter box scores, so to say, for everybody to just stay updated with the game. So you can see GV's got 5, Kitchen 5, Tonic 5, and I got 4 myself. We don't have really any rebounds going on in this game, but that's likely because, you know, there's only been 4 misses in the entire game. 1 turnover to their 3, and we're doing pretty good, 19-12. Now you're going to see on this first offensive possession, they come out and hit some beautiful, beautiful stuff. I'm going to run this one back as well because you guys are going to see this a lot when it comes to this Pro-Am stuff. This Pro 3 behind the back is so popular. It's so useful in this regard as well, where this guy, he gets past Kitchen and he sees that I'm hedging up right here. Now, typically in the pick and roll form, it's going to be just like this, where Kitchen's on the left side of the screen, he gets hit, and the point guard's moving to the right of the screen. And he knows that I'm going to try and hedge up because I'm trying to stop the three-pointer on this wing spot. But then, boom, he hits this Pro 3 behind the back. I get left in the dust, and you will see that happen a lot. I, myself, one of the focuses that I have for this Pro-Am stuff is for me to get better when it comes to defending that behind the back and trying to figure out how to stop people when they know that I'm going to hedge up to that other side on the perimeter, and then for me to be able to counteract that and be able to actually defend the drive while at the same time dealing with that. But a lot of times they get me on ankle breakers with that too, and it's just a really, really tough scene. So this guy's hedging really high again on the backside. You're going to see Kitchen's going to move to the left. As soon as he moves to the left, I cut down for the roll, but you can see they dropped 3 people on me. Now, this is really more so just a bad lob animation. As you can see, my dude's doing a lot of extra stuff. There's really no way for me to stop this. I don't have any fancy, you know, alley-oop packages on or anything like that. A lot of it is just trying to keep it basic so I don't end up with stuff like this too often, but here we are with it. But obviously, he could try and dot Panda in the corner or, you know, Tonic in the corner right here. This would have still had a rotation to it regardless. But either way, Panda gets the offensive rebound. GV ends up with it again and then passes it back to Panda because, again, he's probably trying to hit Kitchen, but he hits RBA, and it's just a whole bad situation. So to show you guys how this happened full speed, you're going to see, again, pick and roll, boom, yada yada, Kitchen's dribbling, working his way to the left. As soon as he goes left, I cut down. If I didn't get this whole reverse action right here, I probably would have been fine. But either way, Panda gets the O board, works it to GV. Now again, Giuseppe accidentally passes it to Panda. We have the screwed up icons. Panda ends up going across the whole 7Cs from the corner to the other right side wing mid-range. So I just called timeout right there. It is definitely just a really weird situation. Panda wouldn't have been able to get to the corner again either, so it would have just been a horrible offensive possession and nothing really set up very well off that. But either way, unfortunately, we don't really get too much to happen right here. You're gonna see Kitchen has the ball again, is trying to dot Panda in that left corner, but accidentally goes to GV. It's really just a whole horrible icon situation going on, and like I was saying, you guys are definitely gonna see that a whole lot when it comes to these Pro-Am videos. Now, thankfully, our main lineup, we have pretty much down to a T. Like I was saying, I can just tell you guys off the top of my head what the icons are, where, like I said, Nick is going to be the point guard spot at the A button, Kitchen's going to be B, Tonic X, me Y, Nut LT. It's as simple as that. It's really like a very easy equation to be known. But really with this lineup, it's just so hard to remember the icons. Now, this is the exact situation that I'm talking about that you guys are going to see a lot in this Pro-Am stuff, where you're going to see they work this mid-range backup with the roll coming in, where they force this full switch where I end up on the point guard because he drives, and then Kitchen has to stick out with the popper, but then the popper ends up cutting as soon as he, like, you know, gives the fact that he's gonna pop, and then just like that, Kitchen's trailing him. Now, great teams, and I'm talking great teams, and I think this is where we're gonna be able to get to eventually, whether it be me and Nick on ball or me and Kitchen, whichever it is. Great teams will be able to get this transition where I'm going to back up and take away the roll, and then Kitchen can still get the contest from this mid-range, or somehow Kitchen still plays this really well, and he still even does. Like, and he ends up getting contact dunked on the lob and one. Really just a garbage situation. The game is just kind of set up to work like that though, where, again, you get the full switches off the drive, the guard backs it up, pulls me out there with him, and then as he's pulling me out there with him, it's just really tough for me to get down there for the, you know, alley-oop looks or just the rolls from the big man, whatever it may be. It's just a really, really tough situation. Now, again, I make a horrible pass right here because, as you're going to see, I'm trying to hit RBB, which I think, again, is Kitchen. And you can see Kitchen is wide open. Like, I'm talking, again, normally he's the B button spot. I try and hit RBB because I'm so used to it. And right here, horrible pass. I throw to a double team to the corner, and then they get the fast break off of that. I mean, that was just an awful situation. And thankfully, Panda actually gets the intentional foul, so they don't get the fast break. You're also going to see a lot of that when it comes to the Pro-Am. Just a ton of intentional fouls to try and take away fast breaks. Really, clear path foul isn't as much of a thing in this game either because it's just hard to get down the court in that regard, and they always foul you before you can outlet pass it. So it's really just a tough situation with that. Now right here, Tonic low-key gets sort of dotted on this corner, but I want to explain and give him kind of an out as to why this happened. And I need to be better when it comes to this rotation as well. So we give up sort of a slip, right? And I guess low-key, Tonic probably didn't have to drop right here. I probably would have been fine. But to give you guys some context as to how this rotation would work, if I got beat really bad on the slip and I know I can't make it to the recovery or chase down block, whatever you want to say, or even get positioned for a rebound, a lot of things. He's past me. It's really hard to defend it in that regard. But like I said, if it were more obvious in that regard, what we would do is I would rotate out to this wing. GV would move down to this corner as Tonic goes from the corner to the drop. Now, I guess it's more easy for you to understand if you just see it from the corner perspective first, where again, I get beat on the slip, corner drops, GV goes to the corner, and then I go to the wing to fill in. It's a really good rotation, and right there, again, Tonic just low-key gets a little bit dotted, but again, just to give him the out and the reason for actually like dropping like that, it does make sense. And one thing I really want to mention before I forget is the fact that this side we call the strong side. Now, somebody told me in the comments that it's the opposite. This is the weak side. This is the strong side. I understand what you guys are talking about with that, all right? But all I'm pretty much saying is when you count the spot ups, there's one spot up right here, and then there's two spot ups right here. Now, when there's two spot ups, it's very convenient if Tonic can be in that spot because then he'll be able to drop. Now, if he's right here, it makes it really tough because if he drops from here, there's nobody to help him in that regard, unless maybe somehow Kitchen on the right side of the screen would be able to like get out right there. But either way, I don't like anything to do with this little triangle action right here as far as rotations. I like for this guy right here to pretty much just be accountable for his guy and nothing else, and then we would always be able to rotate from this side right here, or even sometimes not rotate. Like I was saying right here, we maybe could have just not rotated and I could have stayed down with him and everybody on the left side stays put. But either way, just to give you guys some context as to what we want for those roll defends, so to say. But again, I just say that to give you guys some perspective as far as how it would help us on defense if Tonic has somebody near him, aka that wing guy, to be able to rotate to his corner when he does drop, because if he's in that open corner, it's really tough. Anyway, Kitchen check to pass to Panda right there, ends up shooting a 63% contest. Now, mind you, this is all transition right here. So I end up picking up ball and Tonic's gonna be down low. You can see the confusion though. I mean, we end up still not knowing where we're going. So GV ends up in the corner, Tonic on ball. The big man ends up cutting as the point guard picks up his dribble, and now he ends up hitting a bailout pass. I'm on ball again, Tonic down low. Now they drop one guy to the block. We still don't know what's going on. You can see I even try and back up and take it and abandon the point guard entirely. There was only 2 seconds left in the shot clock, real unfortunate. Then we end up passing it on the inbound to Kitchen when he's not even in bounds. I've made that same mistake myself as well, and it's really frustrating. So you're going to see right here, the defensive confusion just continues. So they're going to run a little overload. There's going to be 4 people on the right side. I don't even know if they do it intentionally, but just to pause it and give you guys some perspective, essentially we need everybody to slide over one, and then Tonic, he's responsible for this guy, but then they're going to end up cutting one through to the corner. So now it's all situated in the right spots where it's going to be right corner here, left corner here, and left wing here, and then Kitchen needs to be on ball, and then I'm on the screener. But flat out, there's just so much confusion going on right here, and luckily we get Giuseppe on a, you know, kind of auto charge. I don't think he's actually holding B or anything right there. It just happens in this game a little bit where if you just run straight into somebody, sometimes it'll just give you the charges. Now, what's even worse is the sloppy basketball continues on both ends all the way until like probably 2 minutes left in the quarter. So you're gonna see I end up going for the cut as he's getting bodied up. Now we're working the pick and roll again. Kitchen's gonna drive again. Normally he would back this up and get the mid range and pull him back out, but he goes up for the 34% contested layup. That goes in. Now you're gonna see even more crazy weird stuff going on right here on this possession. So again, pick and roll, point guard's gonna end up driving. Now here's the worst part, bro. He ends up working it back out. I get the bump right here as he's probably trying to give it to the corner guy. He goes up for a 100% smothered pretty much, shoots it very early, which lets me know that he probably wasn't trying to shoot it in the first place, but he gets hacked on the jump shot, and then he gets the free throws off of that. That's ridiculous, honestly. I've never seen that before in any 2K, any Pro-Am, or any of the gameplays that we've had so far in this regard, but it is what it is. Either way, they get 2 points off it. So on this play right here, you're gonna see it come together really cool. So what I was talking about earlier in the video, where you gotta be really good when things aren't going according to plan in this Pro-Am stuff, where, again, when things aren't going how your regular play style wants, you got to be able to conform to it. So Kitchen hits the drive, I hit the pop. I'm trying to drive on this guard, but I don't have anything. Then boom, I hit the give and go. So I pass it to Kitchen just out of a panic pass, low key, and then I just hit the cut as soon as I give it to him. Nice little freelance bucket, like I was saying, just out of the ordinary stuff. Now right here, their point guard's going to try and hit me with this behind the back again. I'm going to break this down for you guys. So again, he tries to get past Kitchen right here and be far enough ahead of him to where he can do this behind the back without bumping him on this back end, and then he's trying to split past me to be able to get through here. Now luckily we both like try and pinch this off. Nothing gets open on that. I'm on the drive. Now right here again is the exact thing that I've been talking about in the video, where the point guard's going to back it up and the big man cut as soon as he backs it up, so that we're just in this misconformed, you know, kind of confused area where we don't exactly know how to defend it. And we're trying to get better with that. You can see I'm on the press break right there. Boom, trying to hit Kitchen back. Nothing's open. I'm trying to go for the drive. I got nothing again. So again, it's just a lot of, like I said, out of the ordinary plays. I hit the slip right here. Nothing's open. Tonic ends up with the ball in the corner. Green, just like that. Back up 26-25. So now back on defense with it with 1:10 left. Kitchen's going to go for a mini press right here. He ends up getting blown by a little bit. Now, I'm not sure if this dude was trying to size me up and he was trying to let his big man end up going for the roll right here and just get a free roll, or if he was trying to crab Kitchen to be able to get him behind him so where he could get a like actual shot off. But right here, Kitchen gets his 3rd bump steal of the game. I try and outlet this to GV right here because I felt like he's a little bit ahead of me and just, you know, moving a little bit faster. He gets blocked. I get the O board, and then Kitchen's wide open at the top of the key. Again, freelance, just randomness, and just out of the ordinary things. So we're doing a really good job to close the half right here. I'd be willing to bet we won a really good run at the end of the 2nd quarter. I wasn't paying too much attention to the scoreboard for the last couple of minutes of the first half, but either way, they end up taking another contested shot. I get a pretty easy rebound right here. You would think we had something going on for the fast break, but I was getting bumped a little bit on the backside right there. So I end up just, you know, taking the reset. We end up getting another just random kind of freelance play where I just find my way down to the paint. Nobody was really ready to guard me right there, so we get the easy standing lob for the layup. And again, I mean, we're just closing this half out on such good, just randomness things. And you'd really do, I want to drive the point forward. It's a lot of like just freelance IQ when it comes to that stuff that you really, really need in this game. I try and step up right there. He gets a really good shot, peeks through the little window, gets the green at the mid-range spot. Now, I want to explain to you guys what we're talking about in this party right here. Now, I apologize I can't bring you the actual party audio, but essentially, me and Kitchen are talking about our takeover progress, and he's telling me that he has his takeover. I was like, okay, bet. I'm like halfway to my double take as well. So we have a chance at the last shot of the half right here. So what we're thinking is he's going to pop his on, and it's going to give me a look to where the defense is 100% just going to absolutely smother everything to do with the three-point line right here. So we're going to use his sharp takeover as a decoy to get me double takeover, because like I was saying, it's so obvious they're going to send this double team right here. And the best thing they can even do to defend me, if we know that's inevitable, is that they'll have one guy in the corner dropping down to me. And I think I'll take those chances. And if I take a horrible shot and I end up getting blocked, or it looks like I'm going to miss it, I can just pop my single takeover right here and no worries. Now, I did get kind of bailed out right here. I'm not going to lie, only a 6% contest. Either way, very good execution when it comes to closing the half right there. And obviously there's still 10 seconds left. They can still score. But either way, great execution to be able to get me double takeover. It's going to give me not much double takeover left at the end of the actual first half. You're going to see when it gets to the second half, I end up with pretty much just my single take. But either way, it ends up giving me more progress on my single takeover going into the second half. You can see they ended with a really nice behind the back drive right there. Gets them 2 more points. And here's our end of the first half box score. So Carney's got 17 and 5, Kitchen's got 10 and 9, and then I have 10 points as well. Very good field goal percentage all across the board for both teams. 12 of 15 and 14 of 19. Only 4 turnovers, 5 turnovers. I shouldn't say only. It's actually a pretty lofty number for, you know, first half rates, so to say, or just the numbers that you would typically see in the first half. But either way, like I said, field goal percentage out of this world. They're shooting 80%, we're shooting 74%. It's just kind of crazy, man. And not much inefficiency when it comes to three-point shooting either, but obviously a lot of easy takes to the paint for both teams. And really, I mean, both teams are just playing out of their mind when it comes to just how we're all working. Now, you can see right there, Kitchen actually gets a really good contest on the drive, and then I'm filling in for the rebound. Now, Kitchen's working to the wing right there. I might have been open on a little bit of a cut, but GV makes something happen out of nothing right here. Curry slide back to the corner, 22% contested, and obviously he shot the white, but I feel like low-key that move freed him up way more than a 22% contest. But it is what it is. Obviously, you know, blinders in this game, it's very hard to predict, and that's just kind of how it goes. So right here, they're working a little bit of Dex action. The big has the ball. He ends up, you know, taking some really bad spin dunk. They go for a lob from the corner. Really bad situation. Obviously, a horrible possession for them. We get the ball back up 6. So with my last ounce of takeover, I'm just going to pop over to this wing a little bit, and Kitchen's going to hit me. I end up driving to the right and get a horrible, horrible angle that I take, and long story short, I just didn't really want to keep going with that, so we just bring it back up to the top, run the pick and roll. My takeover is going to run out. Kitchen gets a nice little peek, but obviously the big man's able to hedge up because I'm holding the full screen. Now, that's one thing I really want to mention to you guys too, is when it comes to these full screens, obviously it frees my point guard up a whole lot more because this point guard is getting, or the lockdown is getting absolutely hit on these screens. Like, that is a wide open opening. But the problem with it is hedge defense is much easier when the actual big man on the offensive end is holding full screens. Now, a lot of times what you guys see me do in situations where it looks pretty evident that I should hold the screen is sometimes I'll even just slip through right here. But you can see this guy was ready to take me as far as, like, dropping for the interception on the lane because these guys played too high. And then what this guy probably could have done as well is play halves between these two guys right here. Honestly, there's a lot to be said about reading pick and roll offense and being able to defend it, and then reading pick and roll defenses as far as teams throwing some crazy stuff at you. There's a lot of complications when it comes to this stuff. I mean, there's a reason they say 5v5 is the most skill-based, game mode in all of it. There's just so many more defenders and so many more offensive pieces that you have to kind of account for, and there's not as much spacing on offense, so you have to be able to work with, those little tiny increments of space and area that you have. And really, in a 3v3 situation, it's so rare that you would actually have a horrible shot attempt like that because it's just going to be so easy to take free slips because there's only one guy that can even help off the corner. You can see right there, the point guard goes for a crazy spin jumper. The big man goes unboxed because of me, and then he gets a putback dunk right there. Really good, valiant effort by these guys to be trying to come back into the game right here. And this one was tight all the way through. I'm really glad that I used this one for a video. And I want to mention too, and you can see I hit a nice little roll right there. Tonic ends up with the ball wide open in the corner, but just goes in for the layup. It still works though. Like I said, freelance buckets. It's just a lot of randomness. But what I did want to mention to you guys is a lot of these Pro-Am videos that I'm going to bring to you, I'm doing it for the entertainment perspective. I'm not trying to gloat and showcase my most skillful moments or anything like that. I'm not trying to showcase me scoring like 50 points or something like that, because in the first place, we all know that's not going to happen. I'm playing big man. But let's say I score like 28 points on 14 of 14 or something like that, but we still lose, and it was a horrible display as far as our offense, and we played horrible defense or something like that. I'm probably not going to bring it to you guys, obviously, for reason one being that we lost, but reason two being I want these to be competitive games. I want them to be, not very evident what the outcome is going to be when you're watching it. And I might even throw in a couple losses or something like that, just to keep you on your toes and maybe display what we did wrong. Now, I know I contradicted myself by saying I wasn't going to post many losses, but again, I might throw those in every now and then just to show you guys where we went wrong or where we failed or situations like that. And I'm letting all these guys stream the games as much as they want, with the Twitch stuff or anything like that. I'm obviously not going to be very dictatory or anything like that to where I'm going to be like, no streaming. This is all my content. I'm not on some like weird stuff like that. So my point of all that is essentially, I hope that these guys are okay with me putting them on the spot and showing their flaws as well as mine, to be showing you guys the collective effort from the team of where we might have just, failed in certain situations or where we need to get better in certain situations. Because flat out, if you can't face your failures, then where are you really getting at? I mean, if I'm only showing you guys the good, then what really makes that even that good if you don't get to see the bad as well? And that goes for the gameplay itself too. There's a reason I don't like to cut a lot of this stuff out. It's just I feel like I'm doing a disservice to the actual video or the gameplay that we did, where I'm not showing the flaws if I'm cutting stuff out, etc., etc. I'm not showing stuff like that. Now right here, we work a little pick and roll action again. I'm on the pop. This big ends up contesting me right here. And now this is where things go really weird. I end up passing it to Tonic in the corner right there. He ends up missing. I get the ball back, and then nothing's really there. This is where I'm probably going to reset 9 times out of 10 right there. Honestly, 99 times out of 100. So you're going to see they are working a lot of bait action when it comes to these pick and rolls. GV hits me on a really nice standing lob right there. It's really like pinpoint accuracy and IQ for him to be able to see me in that situation and actually throw it. But this is the stuff that I'm talking about. So again, they blitzed Kitchen on the top, and then I'm rolling. Now, this is the exact thing that I was talking about earlier, where they could drop him and this guy play halves, but what ends up happening is he baits. He ended up, I would have been wide open, obviously, right? And this is where they ended up not having the right amount of people to fill in regardless. He was still there, but he couldn't jump. He just, ended up tapping X below my feet, and most likely I'm going to end up being able to make that every single time. But I've seen a couple crazy things where some standing lobs just literally just don't go in for no reason at all. I've literally been on slash take with 99 standing dunk and all types of stuff like that and still miss just because the dude's right below my feet. Panda, nice little help off the corner right there. In all reality, he probably should have got dunked on right there, but it is what it is. We get kind of bailed out by the game. Now, they kind of double team right here, and I'm already knowing I can't pass the Kitchen because it's just a wall of two people who could like play the passing lane right here. So Tonic frees himself up right here and comes out of the corner to the wings, so to say, to get the ball, and then he's going to end up getting it to Kitchen. So it's more of like it was an easier angle for the pass to be made from this direction to here than it was for way back here to right here. So either way, nice little press break, very, very simple. Kitchen ends up backing it up on this pick and roll game. I end up holding X. I'm trying to get the lob, but either way, beautiful blitz off that corner by them. They end up getting a really good foul. Now, I want to mention this as well. My free throw, really, really bad. Now, this is one way around it as well. Now, I'm not even sure if I made these or not, but the NA is by far the best thing you can do for somebody that has a really low free throw. It says 35%. I probably shoot about 40% on free throws in this league, and realistically, it's just really, really hard to actually get any timing on these. It's really hard to green them, and the efficiency of this, flat out, it's pretty good. Like, I mean, it's about 50-50. For me to have 25 free throws and still be able to make half of them is pretty good, in my opinion, and there's a reason that I run the NA. Nice little reach in right there. You can see they obviously had a man down after Kitchen got his ankles broke, so it was just very sensible to make that reach in right there and get the foul to be able to reset everything. Again, pick and roll action right here. He hits the slip. I'm actually right there in really good position. I don't know if the lob probably went to the guy from the corner who cut, but either way, good position, get the tip pass. Now I'm down here on the block right there, and boom, Panda gets the ball. I'm out in transition. He ends up hitting me a little bit late to where I'm kind of covered up, and now I get poked. Now I gotta say too, I'm not a big fan. I don't know if that's post control or if that's ball control as far as which one is creating the reason that I'm getting poked so much in that area. It really didn't happen very often on my 6'8", and I really had the same post control regardless, so not sure. And that right there is very dangerous as well. I was lingering around at the top, and then Tonic ends up hitting Kitchen as he's moving backwards toward the top. That really could have been an easy turnover. Kitchen shoots it very early, probably wasn't even trying to shoot the shot in the first place. Obviously, it's not like he just mistimed it that poorly. And then he ends up working GV in the corner right there. They get a nice shot. I mean, they're coming back. And I had mentioned how well that we ended the first half in the second quarter, where we went on a really good run to close that first half, but you're gonna see right here just a lot of random stuff. Like this dude Panda was just chilling in the left corner. Now I wanna give some context as to like what Panda does and like who he is. So he's kind of a younger kid. I'll just put it like this. To be completely honest with y'all, I'm gonna just be real. If you're this far into the video, you're a fan of mine to the point where like you're not gonna be offended by stupid things that I say like this. But he's, you know, a younger kid. He's like 16 years old. He's kind of annoying, to be completely honest with y'all. But we all have him muted in the party, right? So this man, he likes to stream as well, so he's always talking to his chat, which I can respect from my own perspective. I was once a young kid as well who was, you know, really happy-go-lucky and, you know, always talking to the chat because I'm really passionate about the YouTube stuff. But long story short is, he can hear us, we can't hear him, so he's drifting away. He's probably talking to his chat right now, just literally lingering around in the corner, so nothing's even open right now as far as that. So he finally gets back in, and now we're just back to our offense. Again, like I said, really bad end of this third quarter. You can see bailout pass to Tonic. He ends up dropping it. They throw the lob, just like that. 8 seconds left in the third, and they're back to 6. So it is what it is. And then honestly, it's very hard to get shots off with like 4 seconds left right here. He ends up walling off Kitchen's left side. And one thing to be explained for you guys as far as my own perspective for the pick and roll game, what I love to do with my point guards is have them set up toward either side of the wing. They could be left wing or right wing, whichever it is. I like to start from the top because it's away from this wing help defender, and it takes away one more guy who could get to me on a roll or a slip. So if I see that this guy is likely going to try and play high, or in this situation where we can't even get a shot off realistically, I'm just going to hope that he ends up playing high and isn't staying low to like protect the paint. And I'm going to hope that Kitchen can move to the left, and as soon as he moves left, I'm slipping. But this guy does a really good job of walling off that left side, and he just could not go that direction. We end up not really having anything, but this game is completely broken when it comes to the NA shots. It is horrible how broken it is, to be completely honest with y'all. But either way, so a quick little end of third quarter box score check. You can see we absolutely destroyed them in the first quarter. They ended up beating us in the second, and we were just killing them in the beginning of the third. And then they ended up coming back really well at the end of that third quarter. I would bet they probably had like 2 points until the final like minute and a half or 2 minutes of that third quarter. But you can see we're still doing pretty solid. We're back up 8, and we're looking pretty good. So here we are in the fourth quarter. I'm not gonna lie, we didn't start this one off too hot either. We definitely let these guys come back a little bit in this game, and it made it very interesting in this end of fourth. But anyway, Kitchen ends up backing it up. I feel like we would have been way better off if he kept it right there because he had the big man trailing him, and then I would have been able to just camp block with the little dude on me. Probably would have been looking pretty good. Then here we are in transition again. Now, one thing we probably need to get better at is fouling in transition, to be completely honest with you. I mean, it gets really bad sometimes when you don't foul, especially early in these quarters where you don't have your team fouls racked up, so you're not really in any threat of giving them the bonus. So there's really no point in not fouling in situations like that, and we just need to be able to drive that point home on everybody on the team pretty much. So right there, I'm in position for the rebound. They get a little tip, low-key. They could have had that, but I was able to just track it down after tipping it up in the air. Off of this inbound, you're going to see me try to get a little backdoor action right here. This dude was like pressing super hard, but as soon as I give the ball, he ends up backing up just like that. Now, one thing you're going to see with Kitchen in this little increment of the game, definitely fiending for crabs, and I will say he was getting them off really well. Now the contest on that, I would like to think, was from the corner. There's no way the dude behind him got that type of a contest, and overall I think it's a pretty good shot, to be completely honest with you guys. I mean, obviously he ends up missing it and they get a fast break off of it, so it's very inconvenient that that actually happened. But man down, I absolutely brick wall the mess out of somebody right there, and GV ends up getting a wide open mid-range right there. Nice green, and we're back on defense with it. Again, 5-point game. This guy's going for the crabs as well. You can see he's definitely like in that area where he could have got it off. And then again, point guard drive, pick and pop big. He ends up popping. He really could have had a wide open shot right there, but Kitchen gets a beautiful jump and ends up being able to contest it. Again, me and Kitchen just got to be better with communicating that, as far as when the point guard drives, we need both of these lockdowns on the outside, GV and Kitchen, to stay out in order for me to be able to comfortably pick them up on the interior. And I'm not gonna lie, I get straight worked on these rebounds right here. Like, you can see he ends up getting that one, and then obviously they get the pretty open corner shot right here, ends up hitting the white. It is what it is. But honestly, this guy down here, he would have had this rebound regardless, unless how this game works with the crazy, you know, long rebounds. Because I gotta say, there's one thing I hate about this game. If, you know, there's many things to be said about 2K21 Next Gen, but the thing that I hate about Pro-Am so much is the long rebounds, and just, it really doesn't make sense how rebounding works in this game. I feel like positioning doesn't really matter a whole lot, to be completely honest with you. You can see, again, like I have position right here. The dude kind of just trails in from the corner. Then again, obviously, the guy didn't really get boxed out, so it is what it is. I tried intentional foul right there. We got all out of position. I'm back down on the interior for the guy that was camping block. Now they got a little overload action right here. I'm just on the wing. GV's on the big man. We are just completely out of sorts. But thankfully, they get the little, like, wing cut right there from the big man, and then we get the full switch back. And then Tonic fouls like 2 seconds left. So off of this inbound, again, some overload action where Kitchen takes the ball, and then Tonic's just kind of lost because that's his corner defender. So now he's on the big man, I'm on ball with it, and we're in that situation again where we were earlier in the game. I kind of like those situations too, where I'm on ball, Tonic's on the backside with it. But either way, I get the pickpocket. We don't get the ball back. I'm completely out of position because I'm trying to make sure the three-point line's not open. They get another O board, but we get the little steal. I don't know if that was Panda or GV right there, but either way, nice steal that we get in transition, and then we're back out right here. Now, trying to slow it down a little bit. Obviously, this is a situation that we aren't too big a fan of, but right here, beautiful action. Again, Kitchen just can't hit the shot, but that's exactly what we're looking for. The backup, wide open shot with the big man on him, and then I have, you know, kind of a baby on me as well for the rebounding to be a whole lot easier. And then at the same time, too, he probably could have hit me for a lob as well as soon as he was backing it up, too. So you're going to see Kitchen rocking the NA as well. He has a 64% chance on most of his. I think sometimes it fluctuates to like 68 or so. As you can see, 65 on that one. I'm not sure why. It might just be stamina and like energy. But either way, the NA is definitely a pretty valid option. You're going to see these guys, it was so obvious that they were going to end up running this. I'm glad I picked up on this as well. But they run a little bit of a wrap action where they're going to move this wing and clear him out to the left wing. I don't know if it was actually to get him open or not, or if it was just to clear up this point guard. But you can see we end up kind of, you know, patching it up a little bit. I end up like kind of hedging a little bit toward the left wing, and then they don't really get anything on the slip or the backside action or anything like that. Beautiful switch right here. It finally works out the way that we want it to. Again, whenever Tonic gets the ball, I'm going to be drifting in there to try and get it. Hit the fake pass, go to GV in the corner with the icon. Boom, just like that. Beautiful three. We needed that real bad right there too. But you can see, I just really want to clarify, that defense was perfect. And then again, they try and work that wrap action. Kitchen's on the bump steal. He ends up getting it, but they call a timeout. Now, that's obviously some BS because that should have just been a backcourt violation. But what I've come to realize and learn from this game is you have a little, like, a second or two to be able to call a timeout before they actually call you for the backcourt, as long as you're spamming it. So it is what it is. They get the ball back off that. That was a great timeout call by them. They fake a wrap right there, and you can see they're trying really hard to get that wing to be moving around. Now, the big man ends up with it right there, as you can see, and he hits the fake pass, so he picks up his dribble and he can't move. And I think as the shot clock's just winding down, he thought he had an open shot. I'm able to get a really good contest on it in the last second. working the ball back to Kitchen. You can see, obviously, you know, time's running down. I'm going to try and get out of the way for the most part in these situations where it's pretty evident that it's just a foul and that's all they can do. And it kind of is what it is. I mean, we got a 7-point lead. All Kitchen really needs to do is hit one of these. He could even hit none and we'll be fine. And as you can see, it is a thing. Like I said, the NA, it doesn't go in every single time. 66%. He hits one, misses the other. It is what it is. And like I said, I mean, he made 2 for 2 on the other trip. So 75%. It's pretty adjacent to what the game actually says. Now, that's the worst thing that could happen right there. I'm gonna be completely honest. Like, obviously, you know, Kitchen just trying to instill some fear in these guys and actually, like, you know, get them to work for their buckets. But either way, he gets an ankle breaker behind half court. Now, I guess low-key, I probably could have tried and foul right here, but we only had one to give. Maybe one. It might not even been any. We could have just gave them 3 points by me just trying to foul right there. But either way, we had a man down. It was going to be a horrible, horrible situation. So then GV ends up picking up ball right here. And then we got 2 guys just lingering around on the outside. And then obviously Kitchen, like I said, just kind of a man down. He's going to be completely out of that play. I should have been more focused on 3ing up. And you can see the inbound, just some weird stuff. All the game's flaws really have been shown in this video right here. But anyway, for the most part, whenever we're in this situation, shot clock winding down or the game clock winding down, I should say. And it's a 5-point game, 2-possession game. I'm just going to go ahead and get out of the way. Because realistically, if I'm up here screening for him or something like that, it gives a real high potential chance of him to get blitzed, whether it's from the big man and then this guy drops down to me. And again, this guy would play halves between these two right here. And it would just lead to getting baited in a passing lane most likely. And we don't want that at all. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just get out of the way entirely. And I'm just going to go camp this block to where they can't double team Kitchen at all. And if they do double team, it's very evident where it's wide open. So right here, very low on the shot clock. Kitchen ends up greening the shot. That is the dagger right there. Nice walk back. Gets the green. I mean, flat out, there's nothing they even have anymore at this point. They could score a 3 every possession of the game, and they're just not going to have enough time. So it is what it is. We're obviously 3ing up to prevent that as much as we can, though. But either way, just kind of delaying the inevitable right here. As long as Kitchen hits 1 free throw, the game is literally iced and over. But we're going to delay this a little bit more for them as well, where he hits me, I hit GV. He holds it for a little bit. Now I'm back with the ball as well, and I'm just going to go ahead and receive it right here. And then I end up hitting Tonic. Now, Tonic probably could have just iced them for 3 right there, but I don't know what my man was doing right there. But it is what it is. Game over. Nothing having right there. They quit. And like I said, every single time in these Pro-Am games, you guys are going to see this. They're just going to quit out, and that's just what it is. It's not them being a sore loser. I've seen a lot of people in the comments that think it's about that, but it's definitely just about they're not trying to lose their overall. Again, like this guy had 3 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 2 steals. He's probably going to get a... And they lost. He's probably going to get like a 95.7 performance or something like that. He's going to lose a ton of overall. He's going to lose 3,000 VC worth of Gatorade. He's going to lose who knows what, like 1.5K worth of boost. So it's like I said, it just makes sense to do. So everybody does it. Again, final box score right here. I kind of let it wind down to the end of the clock because I was just trying to make sure it was one of our first games of this Pro-Am stuff. I wanted to make sure we had everything set up properly with the screenshot, and you know, just I was able to give you guys the box score for the video and stuff like that. So you can see we were 7 of 15 from 3. They were 6 of 12. I want to explain turnovers as well. So you can see this doesn't add up like the math, obviously, right? I only had 1, Tonic had 2, and Kitchen had 2, but we had 6 team turnovers. That's 5 combined right here, but 6 for the team. Shot clock violations count toward this as well, so I don't know who it's like put on or anything like that. I think GV had that extra one, but whatever, it is what it is. Again, if you're a stat, like a box score aficionado like me, and you're trying to understand how the game was won and how the game was lost, you love looking at this type of stuff right here. But a lot of times, you know, it doesn't even show sometimes. Like I said, that shot clock violation that we had with GV, or maybe a shot clock violation they had here and there, or whether the rebound was offensive or defensive. It's hard to tell in these, but either way, for the ego checks and stuff like that, Kitchen ends up with 21 and 11. Obviously, a very nice little stat line right there, but 7-15, we could obviously do better on. Me, 13 and 7. I wish I could have rebounded a little bit better in this game. There were a couple times that it's very evident that that was a problem. And then, obviously, Carney ends up with 24 and 9, 3 turnovers. Obviously, we would like to limit him a little bit more than that, but overall, we stopped them from 3 a pretty good amount. Didn't give up way too many slips or anything like that, and didn't really turn the ball over too much either. So overall, very good game. I was pretty happy with it, pretty satisfied with it. And again, this is kind of our backup squad. We don't really play with Panda too much. GV, we don't really play with a lot. He's kind of like our 6th man at this point. And again, like I told you guys, the main five that we're playing with for the most part is me, Tonic, Kitchen, Nick, and Nut. And I'll bring you guys that lineup 100% for sure in the next video. I just wanted to bring you guys this one. It was a very good gameplay, super entertaining in my opinion, really close all the way through, and I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all that good stuff. Let's try this 1 to 800 likes. And if you made it to the end of the video, put Kitchen in the comments to show your supports me all the way through. I'm glad to have my boy back, man. It's definitely been a long time since I've had any like of the point guard play that I've been used to, as far as, you know, playing with Kitchen or shots, aka AK or anything like that. But you guys get what I'm saying. I'm glad to have my boy back, and I'm actually really excited for this stuff, man. I feel like there's a lot of potential with this team, and we got a really solid 6 people, honestly even 7 at that point. So anyway, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Other than that, take it easy, man. Peace.